Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever location you're watching this video. Okay, so I'm back again, and in this session, I have these many points to discuss. We will discuss first the function URL in AWS Lambda. We'll understand what is function URL and how to use it. Okay, and we will develop a Lambda function and we will integrate it with function URL, and we'll see the demonstration like executing Lambda function with the function URL that we can hit in the browser. Okay, and further that can be that same function URL can be integrated in any of your project. You can call as a you can call the endpoint in your project itself, any CSA project or any runtime you are using. Okay, and we'll discuss about the cross origin configuration of the same function URL on the Lambda console. Okay, so these are the topics to discuss. Okay, so let us start. We will first understand what is function URL. Okay, so till now in previous videos we have seen like we were developing Lambda function, and we were executing that whether with the help of the test method, test feature on the Lambda console, or it was on any trigger. We have seen that function is being triggered based on the events on S3. Function is being triggered on scheduled basis, or any you can associate the trigger with any other AWS services event. Okay, this time we will trigger the function. What we will do, we will develop the function. We will generate a function URL, a browser URL. Okay, and for that function, and from the browser we will hit that particular function URL, and we will see the response. Okay, so if you have to execute any function, any Lambda function, and you have retrieved the data or you have retrieved the response with the help of a URL, okay, user-friendly URL. Okay, so in that case, the function URL comes in picture. We can generate the function URL from the AWS Lambda for a particular Lambda function, and we can hit that on the browser. Okay, so let us see on the console how to create that function URL. Okay, so let me. So for in order to save the time, what I have created, I have developed a function Lambda function here. Okay, and so it's again a basic empty function. Okay, that I have developed this function with using the empty function template blueprint. Okay, and what I have done, I have created a model class here. This is a class registered data. It has following properties like register ID, device ID, parameter name, reading, and data quality. Okay, let's consider you have a function that is consistently reading from data from some device. Okay, or from some sensor. Okay, and this is the model of the data model of the sensor, that is the for the reading that we are collecting every minute. Okay, so, and in the function body, what I have done in the function URL, uh, I have removed the input string input here, and what I'm creating here, I'm creating an object of that register data model, and I'm assigning the properties like register ID is 1001 2093, device ID, parameter name flow, and what is the current value 34.445, and data quality is good, and returning that model itself. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just publish this function to AWS console. Okay, I have given this name. Let me create a new one for you. Fn function URL demo. Okay, I have given this name, and let us deploy this. Okay, So function has been published on the AWS console. So let me go back on the function AWS console panel. Let me refresh this, and we can see function URL demo. This function is created here. Okay. So let me test it for once. I'll click on test, and we can see we're getting the result. Okay, we are getting the response in JSON, what we have provided here. Okay, so currently we are using this test feature to execute the function. Okay, or we can associate any trigger like we can set up the cron job to execute this function every minute or every 5 minutes. All those ways are there. But what I want some URL, okay, so that I can hit that URL in the browser and we can get the same response. So for that purpose, what I will do, we will click on the configuration part here, okay, and you can go on the function URL, create function URL, okay. So authentication type, it has two features here, two options, AWS IAM. One, when I will select this option, AWS IAM, only authenticated AWS IAM user, okay, can use this function, okay. So you need to integrate the authentication flow to this function further in this when you opt this option, okay. So as of now, I'm just selecting done. So this function can be triggered with the help of this function URL from anywhere, okay. It's open to public. So it is creating the policy like a statement based on my selection, like it is function URL authentication type is equal to none, name of the resource like function demo, function URL demo, okay, and let me save it. What it will do, it will generate a function URL, a secured HTTPS URL, okay, for this function. Now copy this URL. You can copy this URL and you can hit this on the browser and you will get the response, okay, the same response. Anytime you hit this URL, you will get the data, okay. So the point is, let's say you have there's a requirement, as I discussed, like there is a sensor or a device connected on the plant, okay, that is reading uh, some kind of parameters, okay, the flow value, okay, or the some PM value or some NOx or some SO2 values from the environment, okay, every minute, okay. And there's a requirement like customer says he wants to see the every minute changing URL on the browser on his system, okay. So you can write here the logic here that will read the data every minute and will prepare this model and we'll return that, okay. So in this block, all the complex business logic, like you want to connect any database, you want to retrieve this data from any SQL table or a PostgreSQL table, everything you can implement here, okay. So whenever assume that a device or the sensor is connected to the plant is ingesting the data to a cloud server into the database, okay. Let's assume that is an IoT device, okay, that is reading the data from the sensor itself, analyzer, that is ingesting the data into the cloud database, and from the cloud database the requirement is you need to read the data every minute, the current value, current reading, and you have to display on the browser, okay. So in that case, you can create this function URL, you can write this function, you can implement your logic here by connecting to the database, reading the last record of the last recorded record from the sensor, and you can create the data model and you can return the same, okay. So it is a kind of web URL, you got it right, okay. If let's assume there is no Lambda function, okay, in that case what you will do, you will create an API, okay, you will publish an API, then you will need a web server, okay, you need some kind of virtual machine, you will set up the web server there, let's say it is IaaS or Nginx server, you will set up, then you will deploy your project, okay. with the help of function URL in the Lambda, it is completely serverless, and it is giving you the function URL. You don't need to do all those steps, right? You don't have to set up the server. You don't have to create a virtual machine. You simply write your logic here, okay, and just fetch your data from wherever source, whether from the database, whether from the DynamoDB or any source, okay, that is that you can connect, and you can prepare your data model, and you can return the same, okay. So that is the use of function URL. Okay, so this URL, further there is a provision like this is this URL is automatically generated by AWS Lambda, but you can if you are connecting your domain and you are connecting this to your AWS API gateway, further we have the provision to make this URL user friendly. Like you can just override this URL. Okay, we have the further that options also. Okay, so that was it about the Lambda function. Okay, one more thing I would like to demonstrate you when creating this function URL. Okay, let me edit this. If I select this AWS IAM authentication type, okay, and we'll save that. Now what will be the impact when this URL is not public now? Okay, when you will hit that, you will get its forbidden error, because we have applied the IAM authentication. Not everybody, but only authenticated users can use this URL itself. Okay, so in that case, there are further implementation, like we have to provide the authentication details, okay, in the header, and all those options we should further implement. So that was about the authentication. So for now, let me edit it back, make it none, save it. Okay, and now again, when you will hit this URL, you will get the data. Okay, now this URL you can integrate and you can call in any of your project also. Let's say you are creating a separate project in C#. Okay, in there you need to get this data frequently. You can integrate this URL also in your project, but in that case you need to, because this URL is open in the browser, but if you will integrate this on from some different origin, okay, or some different web project, you need to enable the course, okay, cross origin feature that validates that you need to configure. So for that purpose, you should go there. Let me show you. Yeah, configure cross origin resource sharing. Okay, so this option you can enable, and you can specify the origins here. Like you want this to this URL to be accessible from all sources or any specific sources. You can, like your project origin URLs, you can specify here HTTP star, HTTP your particular origin. You can specify here. Okay, and a specific header if you want, like when requesting this URL from the different source, there must be some specific headers you want to check. Okay, so all those things can be specified here. Okay, and the methods also. Okay, so all those things are there. So these are the course configuration for calling this function URL from any third-party source. Okay. Okay, so that was it about the function URL, AWS function URL, like what is the purpose and how to use it. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for now. Stay connected, stay happy, stay healthy, and we will connect for further interesting videos. Please like and subscribe this video for further notification of upcoming videos from this series. Okay, thank you very much.